can only hope that you learn a lot from this. Thank you very much, Anna, for the introduction. As she said, my name is Trak Lord. Just as a quick icebreaker, if you notice, if you come up to my name tag, you notice that it does not say Trak Lord. That's because it says George Lord, which is my real name. It's a rare opportunity because I basically never tell anyone that. Trak was not a self-given moniker. It was actually a very quickly lewd story. I was conceived on an Amtrak train. Started off as a joke and just kind of stuck. And me being 4 years old didn't really know, so I liked that name better. So
oh dear.
But yeah, so it's worked out because now I work in tracking technology. So I don't know if you guys know who Bruce Sterling is. He's a blogger. At ARE 2012, he referred to me as the Lord of Tracking, which was very, so anyway, today we're here to talk about wearable computing and augmented reality. And I, of course, come from a company called Metaio. We'll talk about them in just a little bit. But first, I wanted to thank Epson and the Moverio team very much for having me down here. It's not quite as long a journey as Anna made it out to be. San Francisco is pretty accessible by airplane. So once again, but it's nice to be here, to have actually some nice weather. I just got back from vacation in Hawaii like 3 days ago. So going to SoCal from San Francisco is nice, considering it's foggy and summer there right now. So during the presentation, much like Eric said for his, if you have questions, I mean, feel free to jump in and ask them. Just know there will be a Q&A session, and I'm more than happy to even talk to you after the presentations. But please feel free to tweet this. I know we got Wi-Fi. You guys all have little smart computers in your pockets or on your laps. So please, if you'd like to give me feedback and tell me what you really think, please do that. So at Trak Lord, at Metaio US, and of course the hashtag for today's event is HackMoverio. I wanted to start off with a couple things. I don't know if you guys remember this. This is what I think of when I think of wearable computing. This is a project from 2002 by a university in Australia. And it's called AR Quick. Go ahead and play the movie for me. It's weird. You look back at it now, I'm sure at the time they thought it was the coolest thing ever, but this is wearable computing circa 2002. Great frame rate, right? You know, it's just... So if you notice something, the guy's not moving radially, he's only spinning around. And there's a reason for that I'll show you in a second. Because a very important thing that we talk about in wearable computing this is another thing I'd like to start out with in talking about wearable computing. This is a video from Keiichi Matsuda, who is sort of a film and computer vision evangelist, researcher, and this is his, you go to play it, this is his thesis, master's thesis film project for new media and technology. It's called Domestic RoboCop. So you can see he's turned down the ads. This is a very interesting look at it because I can't tell whether Keiichi thinks this is a good or bad future. It's kind of satirical, as you kind of see, like, he's about to, let's see. I mean, it's very, very cool. You have the gesture interaction, but at the same time, he's looking up how to make a cup of tea. Which I never really thought you really need to Google, but I guess it's kind of showing sort of both how cool this kind of immersive technology can be, but also how reliant the future might be. But you see, it goes out to sort of like the friend's view. There's all sorts of information. It's a very interesting conceptual take on what this kind of technological ecosystem could look like. And this is on Vimeo. You can totally check it out.
It's kind of mind-boggling.
I like the end when he decides to leave and turns up all the ads again. Just skip ahead real quick.
8569187 Vimeo.
We're waiting for the tea to brew. One might browse some recipe suggestions to help you decide on the new things.
He decides to leave.
Why would you ever turn up the ads?
You know, that's the first question everyone asked, and the theory is that in this world that he's constructed, that you're actually making money advertising to yourself in your apartment. So to game the system, you're going to turn it down when you're there, and when you leave, you're going to turn it back up because it's going to be, I don't know. I don't really know how that would affect click-through rate if there's no one in your apartment, but I think that was the best answer that I got, because that was my first question too.
Hyperactive cat.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe hey, cats can be big money makers in the world of advertising. So this is kind of a vision of what Metaio sees as the future. So you notice, like, very, very similar. The ability to look at an urban environment, access information very easily and intuitively. And this is what we call the augmented city. And this is sort of, for the past 3 years, this is really the vision that we've been driving as to what we want to accomplish and where we'd like to see the technology. And we'll go into that a little bit more later. But let's talk to you about Metaio a little bit. So as Eric very kindly mentioned, we like to consider ourselves one of the leading companies in the augmented reality industry. We've been around for about 10 years, which is longer than I think any other augmented reality company. We've been doing a lot of stuff. 75% of our company is R&D. So only like a small percentage of that goes after the projects or the commercial or the marketing stuff, and the rest of it is a bunch of guys in a lab trying to do really cool things with technology. We, for the past 2 years, have released a platform that we call the Metaio SDK. It has around 50,000 developers working on it right now, at least registered under the platform. We have about 300 apps in the App Store that are running and or powered by the Metaio SDK. We'll talk about some of those as well. But you may have seen the IKEA catalog, both iterations, running on our software. Recent project with Audi, interactive car manual, and a bunch of other really cool stuff too. So in addition to that, we've worked with lots and lots of people, and we have offices originally based in Munich, where we still have our headquarters, with a subsidiary sort of arm in San Francisco, which is where myself and my colleague Brian work. And then we actually just opened an office in Dallas, Texas, and that was specifically for hardware research, which we'll also talk about later. So if you know anything about Metaio, if you've heard of anyone, who here has heard of Metaio? Wow, okay. I gotta text my boss that and be like, at least half of them know who we are. Well, if you've been following us, you notice that we like to say things. We say things like, by 2014, augmented reality will be on every smartphone. We say things like, browse life, just like the web, making the digital a natural experience, and our newest one, always on, always augmented. And these are kind of things that we start to kind of remind us what we want to accomplish. But for all intents and purposes, we are the augmented reality company. That's how we like to see ourselves. We don't do anything else. We're not a marketing agency. We're not a vendor or a phone maker or anything. We just do augmented reality. That's what we do. That's how we make our living. So what is augmented reality? I thought it was interesting that the gentleman in the back said, how would you answer that question? Because I have at least 3 slides devoted to that, so we're good. So first I'd like to show you, this is a video that we did a while back to kind of highlight some of the options on mobile. But I find this a very, very good intro to the technology. And these are all things that we built on our platform. But for us, it was always about how can we take augmented reality and kind of integrate it into everyday life? Like, what kind of uses are there? What kind of help can that give a user? And it was actually Bruce Sterling that said that when we released this video, Metaio is really, really good at helping attractive women install their wireless routers. But as you can see, the ability to sort of like 3D track an entire object to show real-time, real-life information on how to actually use things, useful applications of technology. Whether it's accessing geographical information, whether you're looking at objects that you interact with every day, visualizing product information in real time, the ability to insert and attach digital and virtual content into the real world just as if it has always lived there. And we are basically platform agnostic when it comes to reality. Reality is our platform. Whether it's your TV, whether it's a 3D object, an image in a magazine, all of it's possible to interact with. To actually take a dynamic and/or static environment